Hi, I didn't see you there. I was just reading a book. Well, I just finished reading the um the Neuroscience of Excellent Sleep by Stan Brodsky. Um, Hopefully you could hear me behind the book. But yeah, I just finished reading this book about the neuroscience of sleep, and I've come to realize how vitally important and foundational sleep is. It's yeah, it really should be. Like, if you ever want to get, like, if you want to get healthier, you really need to prioritize your sleep. If this book's anything to go by, um, it's um it's it's kind of scary to think about, like, all the times I've lacked sleep, and just kind of after reading this book and just think about, like, oh man, I've been not sleeping properly for such a long time, and this could, like, impact my health in, like, a lot of different ways. But in the other hand, it's good to have this knowledge, and it's fixable. So you got to have the positive spin on it and not get stuck in, like, the sort of nihilistic way of thinking, which I generally, well, I used to do that a lot, but I'm kind of breaking free of that pattern, which is really really exciting. So that's why I'm here to kind of pass on some of the knowledge I got from the book. Yeah, it's really interesting. It goes into, like, the details of sleep cycles, um, what hormones are produced in the brain when you sleep, and what hormones get out of balance when you don't sleep, which is pretty much most of them. But I won't go into, like, super detail. I'll just talk about, like, the main takeaways I got from it. Um, he's got another book. I find neuroscience really interesting because your brain's, like, a really, like, obviously a really important part of the body, um, and yeah, it's you can do amazing things if you know what to do with the brain, I guess. It can be a great tool, or a great uh, what's the word? Man, sorry. A great trap. Let's just call it a trap. Like, you can get trapped in these negative thoughts and cycles. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to talk a bit about what I've learned from the book, and I've got notes to keep my brain on track, but I'll try and keep this kind of organic as possible. Yeah, I don't know much about Stan Brodsky, but he's a neuroscientist, and he's written another book, and he's got some other books that kind of go along this book. They're like they color, like, he, like, well, this is kind of going off the topic, but he goes into, like, coloring before bed and how that's really, like, really good to stimulate the alpha brain waves in your brain before sleep, which is kind of like alpha brain waves start getting produced when you're in that almost asleep state. But um, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go through my list. Okay, so from Stan, what Stan says about the sleep, where the amount of sleep we should get from 26 to 64, which is my age range, and, like, most people, I imagine, that watch this video, he says 7 to 9 hours, which is pretty common knowledge, I think. But it's just good to talk about these things, and if someone doesn't know, it could help them. So yeah, 7 to 9 hours. I've been sleeping a lot more recently, like 10 hours, sometimes like 12, just because I feel like I've been really pushing myself a lot with, like, training and just working, and I feel like I have almost like a sleep debt. Which I don't know. I didn't really read that about that in this book, but I feel like that is a thing, and I just need to relax more in general. Um, so yeah, if you don't get that amount of sleep and you get less than the hours, if you get down to, like, 6, he talks about how it can increase your chances of obesity. So I remember when I was really overweight, and my sleep was terrible. Like, I'd literally stay up all night and sleep during the day. But even that, when my sleep quality was poor and my sleep time was poor too. So it was not good. And that was when I was, like, my worst weight was when I was not sleeping well, and obviously eating junk and doing all those other terrible things. So he says here, increases the chance of obesity by 23% if you only sleep 6 hours. But if you sleep less than 4, it increases your chances of obesity by 73%, which is a pretty scary amount. And you got to kind of factor in too, like the quality of sleep you get. So if you're only getting if you're sleeping 6 hours, but you only get like half of that's good quality sleep, then you really are only you're not sleeping enough. Lack of sleep can contribute to hypertension, which is like heart-related issues, which is definitely not good. Those dealing with a lack of sleep have been observed to have less leptin. So leptin is a hormone a hormone that suppresses your appetite. So that's another kind of reason why people, if they have a lack of sleep, they will kind of want to eat more, because that hormone's not being produced in their brain as much as it should, and they'll kind of just want more carbs and sugary food to stave off the drowsiness as well. So it's it kind of just compounds. You don't get sleep, then you do your hormones are just out of whack. You get these bad habits, and then it's very hard to regulate yourself. You either need really strong willpower if you want to sleep that little, but even then it's there's a lot of other brain issues that you get from lack of sleep in the long term thing. What else have we got? Sorry. Lack of sleep lowers insulin, which increases the chance of diabetes type 2, which is not good. I don't know much about diabetes, but it's like a blood sugar regulation thing. I think your blood sugar is too high, I believe, and it's just not good. Good for your health. Lack of sleep increases your cortisol, which to abnormally higher levels. And my dog is barking. Max, shh, please. No. All right. Hopefully you can't hear him. But cortisol has been linked to abnormally high levels of, you naughty dog, abnormally higher levels, sorry, let me start again. Cortisol has been, abnormally high levels of cortisol, you need cortisol in the morning to wake you up. That's when cortisol peaks. And then cortisol, if you have too much, is linked to excess abdominal fat, if you have too much of it. So there's that. Even poor sleep is even linked to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, which is a sign of neurological deficiencies. So you could gather from that if you have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's from you get that from lack of sleep, but you can also correlate lack of sleep to other things like depression or just moodiness. There's obviously other factors, but I think I really think I'm onto something with sleep, and I'm sure this is not new, but maybe new to some people, which is why I'm just making this video. And I find it interesting. Neuroscience of sleep is cool. The neurological deficiencies you get from sleep are from lack of sleep are just when you think about it, it's oh man, I gotta just knuckle down and sleep well. Because when I look at my life, I just want to perform well and be optimal. So how can we fix this? There's a few things that I personally do that he doesn't state in the book, but I'll go through. There's a few things I remember off the top of my head that he talks about. There's a thing called binaural beats, which is this. So you wear headphones, and there's sound that's coming from the computer, but it's two different frequencies of sound, and if you have one in each ear, it somehow produces the brain wave that you need, the waves you need to get into the beta brain wave, if that makes sense. And beta is the wave you need to start that drowsiness effect. So there's that. He also recommends, there's this special type of coloring that he does. It's called neurological coloring, I think. I've got it here. Sorry. Coloration, brain science. So there's that he recommends, and then there's like stuff like peppermint tea and peppermint tea. Sorry, the dog's barking. Man, I thought I had a good video going. Peppermint tea, coloring, listening to binaural beats, and he goes into like sleep stretches as well, which is interesting. Something else. Hold on 1 sec. Let me deal with the dog. Sorry. So yeah, binaural beats, peppermint tea, the coloring. Those are things he recommends. But I've also looked into this myself, and I've had things that have helped my sleep previously. And one thing is blue light blocking glasses, which are really important these days because we all stare at screens. Yeah, like you're staring at a screen now watching me. But if you do this at night time, it'll trick your brain into not producing the right chemicals for sleep. So if you have these blue light blocking glasses, it'll help negate the impacts of the blue light coming from your phone or your laptop or whatever. One other thing is actually buying, because you can even get blue light from your lights in the ceiling. So I've got these blue lights at home that are red, and it looks like it's like something out of a horror movie, or like I look like I'm running a brothel or something, but that is not the case. I just really prioritize my sleep. So yeah, there's that. And I noticed with the blue light blocking glasses and the red light, like I will be drowsy really, really quickly. Another thing I do is burn incense, which he kind of talks about calming scents as well. But I've got this frankincense incense that I've just run out of actually, but it's really nice. What else do I do? Actually, another thing I do is myofascial release, which is pretty much just like muscle rolling out, but it's a bit more kind of targeted to certain areas. So I use a medicine ball, and it's pretty painful when I do it. But I find it's really calming afterwards, especially if you hit your really restricted points of your fascia. Yes, that definitely helps. And then yeah, just trying to avoid. Oh, actually, another thing he talks about is exercising too close to sleep, like 2 or 3 hours before. And I was like, because I used to train kickboxing and wrestling at nighttime, and I noticed my sleep quality was decreasing. So I've actually cut that out. I really enjoyed that, and I met some cool people from that, which is unfortunate. I'm trying not to ramble too much because the video is getting longer, but I think I'm being pretty good. What else is there? Not eating before bed as well is another one. Actually, like a pretty big time frame, like 3 to 5 hours before bed. Try not to eat. I've been doing that more now recently. I might have like some really easily digestible stuff like an orange, something like that before sleep, but no big meals, because when you eat and after you eat and your body starts digesting, your metabolic rate goes up. No, sorry, your metabolism starts. Don't worry about the metabolic rate. Your metabolism starts, and then your heat increases, and your body wants to be at a certain heat range, which is cooler than what it is when it is digesting food. And your body wants to. I think that the heat of your body when it's sleeping wants to be about 37, or a bit lower. But yeah, that's really important for sleep. The temperature of your body while you sleep. So yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff I could go into. I mean, the blackout curtains, I don't have those, but apparently they're good. Like the masks you can wear over your eyes for sleep, I've got one, but I don't wear that. There's heaps of different stuff. So yeah, I won't go any further, but I find it really interesting, this type of thing. Bit of a nerd when it comes to this type of thing, but I hope this video helped you all. Let me know what you guys do for your sleep, and if you're struggling with sleep, try these things out, and if they do help you, please let me know, because it'd be awesome to hear all the positive feedback. And I recently hit 50, well actually I've hit 60 subscribers now, which is awesome, so I'd like to thank you all so much if you made it this far in the video, and I really appreciate all the positive feedback. And yeah, people have been telling me like these videos actually help them, which is awesome. So much love to you all. Namaste. And I'll see you soon.